Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Art of Creation show. I'm your host and coach, Rebecca Boswell, and today we are going to be looking at how choice creates, and different possibilities for creating a life and a living that can actually work for you, whatever that is. And to do that and learn about all kinds of new possibilities that we've maybe never even looked at or tapped into, we have our special guest from Mexico. I don't know where in the world you are today, but I know originally you're from Mexico, traveling the globe, over 3,000 followers on Facebook, really, a voice in the world, Manfred Zepeda. Manfred, welcome today, and welcome to this discussion and conversation about creating with entities. And I'm really, really excited to see what you can share with us, what awareness you can bring to this conversation, and how we can start to look at entities in a different way, and maybe not such a spooky, scary way, which I think is the common thing.
Yes.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation, Rebecca. I'm so excited to be here and to share what I know about this. And I'm sure you know many things about it as well. Sometimes because of all these definitions, these concepts about entities, like you said, is not this scary thing all the time. It could be a possibility to create something different. And I'm back in Greenville.
Oh, cool.
Yes, after being traveling for so long and then living in Atlanta for a year and a half, I chose to come back and have a nice, quiet rest here in Greenville. You know how it is. So here I
Yes.
am for a few months.
Wonderful. Well, Greenville is lucky to have you. A quick note to everybody who is watching live on Facebook. We are going to be having our conversation and not necessarily verbally acknowledging everyone that pops on, but we just want you to know that we see you. We are grateful that you're here. And please, 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 as we're having this conversation, if there is anything that pops up for you, any questions you have, anything that you'd like to pop into the comments, please co-create this episode, and please feel free to do that. So we do see you, and we do know you're here, and we are grateful for you. So Manfred, let's just start with entities. Okay, so from your point of view, what is an entity, or what are entities in general, just to get the conversation started for people who may not even know what are they talking about?
Yes. Well, for me, entities before access consciousness had a different definition. Totally, it was more related to ghosts, to spirits and scary things. Some people have the definition of entity as a demon or something totally misunderstanding, I would say. It's not only that. It includes that, but entity, the definition of entity is an energy that is defined. For example, if you are looking at this conversation we are having on Facebook has a definition. It has a name, it has a lot of people typing stories, downloading or uploading pictures, and all that creates a definition of Facebook. All these together, it's defining an energy. We know it as Facebook, and that makes it an entity. By the definitions it has, it creates the entity. So your body is an entity as well. Your body is defined by your skin, your organs, and all the things in your body. Your name, your personality, let's say, it's an entity that is created, but by your points of view, by your background, by all the things you have put on yourself. So that makes you an entity as well. So entities is not only ghosts and spirits, it's also everything that is defined. I would say that's from my point of view. Everything that is defined, it's an entity.
Cool. So you could have an entity with a body, like you and I talking, and then you can have an entity without a body, which is what maybe might usually be referred to as like a spirit or a ghost or something. But it's still a collection of energies. And then you can have something like Facebook or like a business entity. I mean, that's even the legal term. When you look at law, a business is an entity. And tell us a little more about things like, like songs and books. I know those can be also be looked at as entities, but then I think people wonder, like, does that mean that they have their own, like, what does that mean? Like, are you just aware that there's energy there and then we tap into that and then, we process it
Right.
through ourselves to write it? Or, sometimes there's that question of like, well, how does that actually work? So what are your insights on that?
Well, just like I said, Facebook is an entity by its definitions. Your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are also entities. Even though we cannot see them or feel them physically, it is just the definition of it. When you are thinking, you have words around, you have energies, or you might have emotions, feelings that we cannot feel
Yeah.
physically. But just by having that definition of what it is, an idea for, I don't know, writing a book. So you start with a story in your mind, the people in the story and the place in the story. So that puts a definition in this whole entity. So you are creating an entity, the story. This book is an entity, and it has names, it has a place, and the whole story. So just by the same definition of an entity, an energy that is defined, that's why your ideas, the book, a business, even though we cannot define it physically, we think about it. We have concepts about it.
Got it. Yeah, it's such a different, so you're from Mexico, and I know from going to Mexico very often that it's a very heavily Catholic religious culture there. And there's also a very strong ancestor worship and
Yes.
sense of spirits and sense of, maybe more of like what would be considered the spirit realm. And then what you're talking about is actually a departure from that. And it just seems like it opens it up so much bigger. I'm just wondering, did you feel like you were drawn to this work because of your background and some of the stage that it set, or was it completely so totally different? I'm just wondering about your transformation and
Yeah.
what brought you to this work.
Yeah, it was not through the religion or ancestors. Actually, it was because when I was 2, 3 years old, I used to see dead people.
Oh,
So
so a real life version of the movie.
exactly. I didn't understand that, and it was scary sometimes. I couldn't talk, or I didn't. Not that I couldn't talk with my family, but I didn't talk to my family. I thought that was something in my mind, and plus being in a religious family and this society that doesn't believe on that. Well, I didn't put myself in that I don't know, expose it and
Yeah.
being judged because of that. So I just kept it by myself, for myself, and I remember I had experiences where I was in my bed at 2 or 3 a.m. maybe, and I opened my eyes and someone was right in front of me, not doing anything really, looking at me, and I was so scared that I was just waiting for that image to go away, and until it went away, I could finally rest and sleep. But that was something that I didn't enjoy. But there were other things that I enjoyed. I remember seeing energies coming through the furniture to different furnitures, like sharing energies, flowing colors from one object to another object, or different things that I was like, wow, that is interesting. But again, I didn't understand that, and I didn't have tools. I didn't have tools to acknowledge that and not being judged by
Yeah.
that or judging myself. So I stopped seeing things after 6 years old, and I thought I was fine and healed. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, finally this is over. But when I turned 18, 19 years old, it came back in a different way. But it's when I chose to get more information about it. So I
Yeah.
studied many things, many modalities, healing modalities, energetic modalities, etc., until I got to access consciousness with more pragmatic tools that
Yeah.
really gave me more information and ease in this world.
Yeah, really cool. And Jennifer's just saying, wow, cool that she had something very similar to when she was little. And so, it does, it's like, there may be in the culture that you grew up, there may be some ancestor worship, or there may be acknowledgement of spirits, but only in a specific way if it fits, the model that everyone's agreeing with, it sounds like. And so, yeah, I wonder how many people are aware of different energies or different things, and there isn't really a space to be able to acknowledge a capacity or
Yeah.
a contribution that it could be. It just becomes something that's either scary because it's unknown, or scary because of the social, persecution that you might face if you admit that that you're weird or so different. I mean, this is a weird conversation. This is not a conversation that everyone is
Actually,
just having over coffee.
yes. Actually, today it's interesting when you say this to people. It's interesting for them, but years ago that was like, oh no, that is evil, that is wrong.
Yeah.
What are you doing, or why do you have these things? You know. But
Yeah.
now I can perceive people receiving more this information because
Yeah.
we all have had some sort of
Yeah.
experience in regard
Yeah.
to sensing these energies, not
Yeah.
necessarily seeing them or hearing them, but perceiving in the body. And the body receives a lot of information, and that's a way to be more aware of them. It's not the only way, seeing them or listening to them. We think that we don't see them or listen to them or hear them. We don't have any capacities to perceive
Yeah.
entities, but actually we all have it. If you have a body, I'm sure you can perceive them.
Yeah, yeah, and just maybe not knowing what it is that you're perceiving, or giving it a
Yep.
particular definition. So what I hear you saying is we could actually be playing with entity, or that we are playing with entities every
Without
day,
acknowledging it.
whether we know it or not. So
Yep.
that's pretty interesting, even if you don't think that you want to be, or that you like entities, or even if they give you the heebie-jeebies, sounds like we're still doing it anyway.
It doesn't matter if you don't believe on that. It doesn't matter if you don't have any concept or any definition about it. Actually, it's way better if you don't have any definition
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
When I stopped seeing these entities when I was 6 years old, I thought it was over, but actually my body was receiving all the information. I wasn't seeing them, but my body received all the information, and because I was in a way resisting that awareness,
Mm-hmm.
I had so much pain in my body. I was sick all the time. My mother had to take me to the hospital every other month because I had something.
Yeah.
And nobody understood what it was. And I was like, okay, I'm just a sick person. I don't know what's going on. Uh, until now, well, years ago, when I started practicing more access consciousness, I was aware that was just my awareness and my resistance to acknowledge that awareness. It is not bad, and entities are not doing this to you. It's just the way your body is telling you, hey, you are resisting this information.
Yeah.
You are just putting a barrier in front of you and avoiding it when we all have it.
Cool. So would you share, so for anybody who's watching this, who's like, okay, I don't even know what you're really talking about, but
Yep.
I might be willing to try one or two things just to see what this could be about. Um, where do you start with people? I mean, I know that there are people who are interested in this. One, we have people here on the live recording. Thank you for being here. And then we have all these people who are showing up to your classes literally all around the world. So, if people are paying for it, there's obviously, there's obviously a demand. So when you start out with people and people come through in one of your entry level classes and they're like, I don't really know why I'm here. I kind of want to keep one foot out the door because this might, I'm not quite sure I want to be here. Where do you start with them just to allow them to receive more contribution?
Sure. And thanks for that space and that invitation, the way to explain and invite people to this different world. I like being pragmatic, and when people ask me what is the benefit you get out of talking to entities, like what is in your life, in your living, what is that for you? And for some years, I didn't know why it showed up. I just knew it was there, but I didn't know what to do with that awareness. When I got more tools and I knew that entity is not only a spirit, but also your business, the ideas. In my case, I'm an engineer as well. So I worked for a company for 10 years. And I was responsible for the test benches. This company makes transmission controls for automatic cars. So my responsibility was to test those transmissions and make sure that it is okay. So BMW, General Motors, Ford, and all the companies use them. So when I started working for that area and I got these tools, I started talking to the molecules, to the entity of this station, of this machine, and also to the product to see if they are happy, if they were happy. And actually, just by asking, are you happy? Do you require anything from me? Just by asking, the energy of that entity will start delivering the information energetically, and you perceive that in your body. And we will do an exercise here, maybe in a few more minutes,
Sure.
so you can know what I'm talking about. But when I perceive the energy of I'm not really happy, I'm actually like forgotten, like nobody pays me attention. Yeah. It's like, wow, that is something that is real, and you can actually do something about it. Pay attention to the station, or that's what I did, paying attention to the stations and listening to what they require, maybe more maintenance or something else. After I started doing that, the productivity started to go up, and my bosses were like, what's going on there? They like it so much. They like it so much that every time I was in another country or taking a class, an access class usually, I was out for 4 or 5 days, and the whole production just exploded. Many problems, many issues, many things, And when I came back to the company, everything was flowing in harmony. It was just amazing. And they called me like the lucky guy. They didn't want me to go. They wanted me to leave them a picture of me, so some of the stations actually could work fine. That was hilarious. But
you're serious? They really said that when
I left a picture because literally one of the stations didn't work. If anyone else was touching it, rebooting the station, nothing worked. When I was there, when the technician couldn't make it work, they have to call to the engineer to escalate the issue. So finally I was there, just pushing the button, and boom, working. And I was walking, before I get to the station, I was walking with my questions, like, what would it take to have more ease with this? What do you require from me and from everybody around you? What is this you are demanding from me? So just by asking the question, the energies are flowing, and they got it. As soon as I got to the station, everything was fine.
That's so amazing to me.
That's the magic you can create in the world.
I know. And, I just love that we're having a conversation about something like entities, right? And even though you're an engineer by training, and that you value pragmatics, and, that even in that world that this capacity was acknowledged, like maybe they couldn't explain why or how, but I love that they actually had you leave a picture of yourself. That's hysterical. I think that's great.
And because of all that, one time my manager told me, it's not what you know, what is creating the change in the company, it's who you are. And I was like, what do you know?
Yes.
That
Wow.
was huge for me. I was like, oh, so they are acknowledging actually just by me being there, everything is changing. And what would it take for everything everywhere you are or we are, everything contribute to us and we contribute to everything. So
Oh,
that's
it's
what
so
I one
beautiful.
time said. Yeah,
Well, and I mean, and how cool would it be if more employers, if more businesses had that sense that, really we're able to acknowledge what we be, not just what we do. And, wow, I'm just thinking about, if I look around my environment, how much of like everything was manufactured by someone at some point in some way. And, if every process, if those molecules for everything were being asked, hey, are you happy, and being contributed to, then I mean, just think of how that would change just the energy of everything around us and ours. And everything has a vibrational quality that's measurable.
totally.
And
It
how cool to be able to raise that.
it is easy to notice the difference with food. When someone cooks, when someone is happy and is cooking something, it tastes different than when someone is not really happy, cooks for you and it doesn't taste the same way. It is the same with everything, with the products. If you have or work for a company and you make products, people will notice that the cars, or in my case, within this company, the automotive industry, the cars will notice. And I remember we didn't have many failures for so many months when I was there. But as soon as I just took vacation or something, the problems started happening. When people were not happy, we had failures all the time. So it's really what we are, what is changing the world.
Wow. Yes. And this is such a great practical little case study to be able to look at it. And so it's like, because we can talk in theory and in like beautiful language, but to be able to really see this tangible example is really cool. So thanks for sharing that. And I'm
And
wondering, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And with that invitation is how people can receive easily the tools of talk to the entities. They open up the point of view of, oh, it's not only spirits. It's not about just me communicating with my grandmother who died many years ago.
All right.
It's really about creating this communication and communion with everything, and that knowing that everything can contribute to us and we can contribute to everything. And also, there is a lot of healing when there is a communication with an spirit. I have had so many cases where some people died without saying goodbye, or without saying I love you, or without saying I miss you. So
Mm-hmm.
when I get clients and they have this presence of mother, grandpa, someone who died and they loved, and they deliver these messages, they are on tears and like, wow, I just wanted to hear from this person for so long. And that creates a lot of healing,
Yeah.
a lot of healing for both sides, for the person and for the spirit as well. They can finally rest, let's say. They can
Yeah.
finally choose something different after they deliver the message.
Wow. And yeah, that just I can really perceive too how that creates more ease in the body. If you're holding on to something, even if it's subconscious, you're not even aware of it. If you're holding on to it in your body as something that's left unfinished, or something that's still pending, like having an application running in the background taking up a lot of a lot of your the computer's energy. um, just being able to clear that and allowing you
Yeah.
to have more of your energy out in the world. So
Oh,
this
yes.
this
And
exercise. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, no, no. Well, it just came to me that we have talked to entities before, and I'm sure you have talked to your car when it's not working well, or
Yeah.
something
Or when
happens
you
to your
want it
car
to, yeah,
or your
please, honey.
phone.
Yeah. Uh-oh, speaking of talking to our phones, hopefully you come back. So everybody who's watching, we have to talk to the entities that are in my phone, the entity of my phone, of Manfred's phone, of Facebook, so that this can flow back together smoothly. Still seeing. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have him jump back on again. So in the meantime, does anybody have any questions for Manfred when he comes back? When we get to it, we certainly can pop in any questions that you have. Hi, everybody. It's so great to have you guys on. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get Manfred back in.
Oh,
I love it. The entity, we talked to our phone.
I just said
and then you
phone
just
and
went
boom.
away.
Yeah, someone
Like,
called
I'm
me.
here.
Another entity called me.
That's funny.
Yeah, so we have talked to these devices when they don't work well, and sometimes they work better if we just talk to them or we ask them questions.
Yeah.
So that's how I can say that everybody has interacted with entities before, even though we are not aware of it or it wasn't
Yes.
shown this way to us. You know.
Yes. Yes. I have many conversations with my computer. Oh, it looks like Paula may have put some questions in there. Let's see. Oh, okay, great. So I'm just going to read it. It's pretty lengthy, but I'm just going to read it in case we
Sure.
want to just address it, Manfred. So, and hello back to you, Paula. So she says, my work, my job is involved with involved with entities. I feel those entities, mentors, angels, and guides. They're working with me. I also had many months with stomach disease, tiredness, and there were no doctors that could explain what I had. I do Reiki, tarot, and access therapies and classes. How can I get their assistance but tell them that they're not allowed to be with me 24 hours a day? I appreciate their help, but my body and my life gets stuck when they appear, and my clients simply disappear. They don't call me, and they don't even call me for advice. The energy of prosperity can stop too. What can I do? What can I say to work with ease, joy, and glory, and peace and health and prosperity?
Awesome. Yes, there are many tools you can start applying. One of them is actually acknowledging what entities are really a contribution to you. We are not aware of what energies are around us easily. By asking questions, you will get the awareness of what that is. Have you heard about the light or heavy? Probably you have in other access conversations or with you in this program, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Someone talked
Yes,
about light
yes,
or heavy?
yes. It doesn't come up in every episode, but it comes up often. Yes.
Yeah, so that is the way you can know if an entity is a contribution to you or not. Not because entities are with you and they tell you, I'm your guide or I'm the spirit that is going to contribute to you. It's really a contribution to you. It's just like people. Sometimes people can tell you, oh, yes, I will help you, but you don't know what's the real agenda. You don't know exactly what they are looking for or if they are really a contribution. So you can ask, are all these entities a contribution to me? And how many are a contribution? You will get a number. Just the first number you think, it's the number of entities contributing to you. And the rest, you can ask how many are not a contribution. And just tell these guys, you have to go. Thanks for whatever you did, but I'm not in anymore. So let them go. And after that, after you have more clarity with what entities are around you, you might also have ancestors. And what I've noticed is that when you have your grandmother, your father or mother, any person who died and they died because of a cancer or any other illness with different symptoms, when they get close to us, our body communicates to their energy. It's not their intention. It's not that they are mean and evil and they want you to be ill, but they are this energy and they still think they are sick. So because of this point of view of I'm still sick, I died of cancer, of something else, your body will start communicating with that energy and will mimic. It will duplicate so many energies. So that might be another thing you can ask, if there is an energy you are duplicating or mimicking from an
Okay, so
entity.
you could actually be receiving it from whomever that is,
That is the
as you
awareness of your
would
body.
in life, right? Because I know sometimes when I was doing a lot of body work, even just having someone that I was, having a session with, and I would perceive like, why is my right knee hurting? Or, what's all of a sudden in my neck? And then realize that I
It
was
is the
actually
same.
perceiving the person on the table. So this is that next step of, you can also perceive that even from the body that's not there anymore. What you're
Exactly.
saying.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we are not aware of those things easily because we don't see bodies around us.
Right, right.
But our body is very aware, and every time you perceive or have this energy in your body, just ask if that is yours. If not, ask if that's an entity's or somebody else's.
Okay. And then you can just ask for your body to release it and just acknowledge that it's not yours, and that's enough to let it go.
Acknowledging it will help. Another tip is asking yourself if you are healing this entity. We are very good at healing others. even even though we don't acknowledge that, the body usually has been trained to heal others in many other lifetimes or in this lifetime. But as soon as we get close to a body that requires healing, it starts the process, and our body will start healing others. So this is a program. This is a point of view that we bought many lifetimes ago, and you can ask if you are healing that entity some way, somehow, and tell your body, thank you so much for the awareness. Thank you so much for being very conscious. It's not your job to heal this entity. It's not your job.
Wow.
Okay? Take out
Cool.
that job to your body. It's not yours.
Cool. Did that help, Paula? Let us know if there's anything else that shows up. But that just was a brilliant piece to have you put out there so that we can understand it so much more clearly.
I'm just reading that her grandmother passed away with cancer. Huh. I wonder if your body is
It's funny.
actually
So
healing.
you already perceived that. You already perceived that.
Yeah. That's funny. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's right. It's not possible.
It's not possible. Yep. So
okay.
And there is another one. I just like to add one more thing to what is happening to you. There is something called business hours. You can set a time for all the entities contributing to you to come just whenever you are asking for. So let's say that you said that your business is related. I can't remember, but she said that.
Well, I think she said that when entities are showing up a lot, that something happens with her business, and just the clients start to go away, and it's not good for business when the entities are front and center.
Yeah, you can set business hours. Definitely, if they are showing up to you, there are many capacities you are. And you can set just 1 hour to tell them, hey guys, just come at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. or the time that is best for you. It doesn't have to be 1 hour, just 5 minutes to acknowledge them, to say, hey, I see you guys, I acknowledge you, and then process asking questions. There are questions that you can use to facilitate entities just by asking, who are you guys? Who were you before that? Who were you before that? Who were you before that? Who will you be in the future? That will create a change for them. That will make them choose something different.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think I want to say it's Tom Waits, the singer-songwriter. But there's a story about how he used to always get these songs that would come to him. But they would be in like at the worst time, like when he was driving, or when he was, in the middle of a crowd without a pen, or And so he said finally, like, hey, listen, if you want me to write all this down, stop coming to me when I don't have a pen in my hand. Come to me
Yep.
when I can actually receive what you're contributing. So that might be another demand that you can put and say, hey, let's co-create this, and here's the deal, and deliver.
Exactly. It's funny. I said an hour. When I learned this tool, I said an hour, let's say 7 a.m. for me in the morning after waking up. And when I was traveling, they literally showed up at 7 a.m. of the country I said it. If I was in Europe, it was earlier than that or later than that. It was all changing. So I was like, this is not working. Setting a time and a specific time, it doesn't work. So I set an activity every time I shower. When I shower, I get a lot of awareness. It's like, oh,
yeah,
this is going on. This is happening. So it's when I facilitate entities, when I receive them, when I talk to them easily. And of course, there might be some entities showing up later, but with these business hours, everybody has to wait. You just have to be very clear. What is your business time?
That's really awesome. That's really awesome. And then I also see a question from Angelica, and she's asking about, what happens if they do come in the night. I know you talked a little bit, I don't know if she heard us in the beginning when you were sharing about when you were a child, but, if they do come in the night and you wake up and you're very upset, how can she shift that? I know you've already given us some tools, but I wonder if there's anything else.
Well, the business hours will assist definitely to that.
Okay.
And if they are pushing a lot at night, imagine you or we all die tomorrow. We don't have a body anymore. But we want to talk to our family. So we are there in front of your husband or kids or whatever, and you are, hey, listen to me. Hey, here I am. And they can't see you. They can't hear you. And then it happens to happen 5 days, 1 month, 1 year. How would you feel if you can't talk to them, if you can't communicate with them, if they ignored you, or they think you are evil or wrong just because you are showing up, and they perceive these energies and they are like, hey, go away, I don't want to talk to you, or even they don't know who you are, they just perceive an energy. How would you feel after years and years of not being listened? Very frustrated, pissed, depressed, maybe, I don't know, so many emotions. And that's how they feel when they can't communicate with us. So we might perceive their anger or depression or sadness, and not you perceive the same way, you perceive that depression and sadness, not because they are bad or evil spirits, it's just the way they are feeling right now. So
Yeah.
don't make them wrong because of that, or don't make them demons and stuff. It's not necessarily that. It's how they are feeling in that moment. So when they show up at night or in your dreams, they probably have been trying to get your attention in many other ways, but that is like the last resource, It's like, hey, listen to me, boom,
Yeah.
and I will wake you up.
Yeah, well, as a mother, it just makes me think of my children, especially when they were younger. And, they probably would do something quieter and more polite, but if I don't respond,
Like,
it kind of gets louder and louder and louder until they grow horns. And yeah, it gets very loud. So it sounds kind of like something
it
very
is
similar.
it is very similar. And you might hear noises in your house, or TV or radio turning on, and things like that. And it doesn't mean that it's something bad or evil. It is just an energy that is trying to get your attention in some way, because we
Yeah.
cannot listen to them easily or see
Yeah.
them. So just lower your barriers and expand. We will do the exercise in
Yeah.
some minutes to
Yeah.
perceive that energy. How is that for you, actually?
It really reminds me also of, like, when we have these conversations with about bodies, you know, and when we're looking at conversations about the body and where we have what we perceive as pain, and you know, it's like, oh, I have this real intense pain, and yet how often is it that the body is actually just, you know, signaling something, or you know, it's been trying to let you know, hey, you know, there's an alarm going off because there's attention required in this area and you're not listening. And so the alarm gets louder and louder and louder until, you know, finally, you know, you realize that the universe or whomever, whatever, has kind of, you know, hit you over the head with something really big. Because when it was still quite quiet and low, you know, we just push it aside. So
Yep.
what I hear you saying is really just about, you said dropping your barriers and just being willing to receive the information around you about your body, about the energies that are moving in through around your body. And it's really just that thing of, wow, if we are really just part of this greater soup, you know, if we didn't have to make things so separate and significant, then maybe all of that intensity could dissipate, and that's maybe where we could have more of the ease with our physical bodies, our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, and our spiritual bodies.
Totally. We don't question usually what's going on with the body. I mean, we conclude what's happening usually. Like, you get to the definition of what is that pain, what is that intensity, instead of asking the question. And it is also usual that when some people feel like depressed or sad when they are at home, but when they go outside home, it's totally different. They feel good and very enthusiastic, but it's only home when they feel sad and depressed. And it can be an entity, but also it can be a memory. A memory is something that happened in that place. It could have, or probably you lived something that was abusive or something that created that energy, but the previous occupants of that place, that house or that apartment, maybe they lived that, and the molecules of the place collect that information, and it is there. So you perceive it, your body perceives it, it is just the energy, but we don't question if that is ours or someone else's.
Right.
We define that is mine, that should be mine because I am very stressed or because I'm this or that, and you made it yours. But you can start asking questions if this is an entity, if this is a memory in the house. Wow. Memories also are entities and are energies that are communicating with us all the time. Wow. Beds, it's something that I use a lot. The clearing beds in hotels, clearing seats in flights, in planes, in airplanes.
Clearing mirrors. I love
clearing mirrors. How many people look at themselves and project their judgments and points of view about themselves, and then you just look at yourself in the mirror and it's like, wow, you start judging yourself. It's that way.
Especially the ones at the department store, especially when you're bikini shopping.
Especially those. So you can ask the entity or this object, the mirror, the house, etc. Hey, all the memories in this place, all the memories in this object, release, dissipate, destroy, and create. Right and wrong, good and bad, book and bone, shorts, boys, and beyonds. It's a very easy process, but we don't use it often.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Manfred, I would love to do that exercise if you'd be willing to bring us and everyone who's watching live, us through that, and all of you who are watching now, which is sometime in the future, but is also now all at the same time. How's it going to be better than that?
I love that, right?
Yeah, and then after that, I would love for you to share with us how we can find you, how people can learn more about these wacky tools and the classes that you're facilitating. So,
sure.
So yeah, if you would lead us in this exercise, that'd be amazing.
Of course. Okay, I will ask you guys to relax your body, wherever you are. Relax your body, relax your feet, relax your legs, relax your knees, relax your hips, your lower back, your genitals, expand your genitals, expand your hips, relax your chest, your back, your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Be aware if you are contracted in some way, just relax. Relax your arms, relax your neck, relax your head, your forehead, relax your nose, relax your eyes. You want, you can close your eyes. Relax your sight. Relax your ears. Relax your stomach. And just for this exercise, lose control of your body. Just for this exercise. Lose control of the body more. More. I know it might be hard, but just push yourself to lose control of your body. It's almost like you are about to sleep. Be aware of your clothes, the heat, the texture. Be aware of the molecules of your clothes, the friction between your skin and the clothes, the pressure between your body and the chair or sofa or wherever you are. Be aware of the air molecules around you, around your skin. Expand your awareness 10 inches away from your body. What's around your body? What are you aware of in these 10 inches around your body? Now, the same way you are being aware of these 10 inches around your body, expand your energy, your awareness zone to the room you are at. In that expansion, be aware of the furniture, the objects, the animals, the plants within the room. Just know they are there. Relax more. Drop all your barriers. And I will ask you to call an entity, a conscious entity. You don't have to have a name for that, or an image, or anything. Just say this. Any conscious being who is available. Just one. By now. Just to play with. Don't try to define this being. Don't try to imagine what or how it looks like. No expectations, no definitions. Just be aware of your body and be aware of the room you are at. Ask to this energy, to this conscious being, to get closer to your body. Get closer, please, and touch my hands. touch my arms, touch my neck, touch my head, touch my hair, touch it deeper. You might perceive different sensations. Allow it to happen. It's not going to be the same way as if someone with body touches you. Just be aware with no projections or expectations. How does it feel like to your body? Ask this entity to massage you, to massage your shoulders, to massage your back, to massage your head. To massage you deeper. Now ask them to massage your organs, to massage your heart. Ask this being to massage your stomach. Anywhere you have pressure, tension, stress, sickness. To massage your brain. More your brain. Until you lose more control. It's almost like letting your body die. See if you can get to that level of losing control. You are conscious, you're not going to die, you're just letting go control. Okay. Ask this conscious being to be in front of you, out of your body, and you can ask this being something you like to get contribution to. Hey, can you contribute to me with my finances, with my body, with my business, with my relationship? How can you contribute to me? What gift has this being looked at delivered to you before that you didn't receive in the past? How many years this being has been waiting to deliver these energies? Now receive it. Is the time. It is the time to receive what you asked for. You don't have to understand what this is. Just receive the energy. The universe will show you later. Thank you so much, conscious being, for playing with me. Let it go. Relax your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Mm. How was that for you guys? How was that for you, Rebecca?
Well, you know, I love that exercise. I've never done it in that way before, and never. It's always been about my entity expanding, and I've never been invited to play with an entity in that way. And you know, I'll admit, you know, it was a little scary where I thought, well, what's he going to say next?
Like, where are
And
we heading?
what's going no, where is this going? How is this going to be? And your constant reminder, you know, I'm okay. And, you know, this is just about, am I willing to just let the barriers down and just to relax? And
Losing
that was
control.
very, very powerful. So everybody who is live with us, how, okay, yeah. So a lot of release, a lot of gratitude. Thank you for bringing us through that. That was really
How better?
quite
Yeah.
powerful. How does it get any better? And I could really see replaying this over and over and having a different experience each time.
Yes, totally.
And I would really invite too, if anyone had a difficult time with it, just to see what it would be like to play with it. Maybe not multiple times in one day if that's too intense, but just notice if it was really challenging, if it's something that you might want to come back to, because I just wonder what that can invite. You mentioned, Manfred, earlier about sometimes these intensities in our body are where we have a capacity and we're resisting it. And so, you know, I would just say if you noticed any resistance, what would it be like to give yourself permission to play with this until you have total ease with it?
It is a
Yeah.
gift when you acknowledge that gift you are. I didn't acknowledge that for me. I was like, how can that be a gift? Like for everybody. I mean, it could be for me, but when you are that gift, when you acknowledge your capacities, you are an amazing gift to the universe, and all the all the possibilities are available for everybody. So yeah, that's a great invitation. I love this class, the Talk to Entities class. It's for me one of the most I mean, I got a lot of empowerment from that class to trust yourself. Nobody can validate what you are perceiving. Nobody, just you.
Yeah.
And trusting it's one of the muscles you develop in this class, definitely.
I just see that Irmgard has just posted, and she says, I never allowed myself to relax and give up control of my body this fast, except for when receiving bars. So thank you. So this is amazing. We have laughing, we have crying, we have all
We have a
kinds of
little bit of
things,
everything.
a little bit of everything. So Manfred, please tell us, what do you have coming up? Where can people find you? How can they work with you? Give us all the good stuff.
Sure. Well, you can visit my website, manfredzepeda.com. You can translate that to English. It's in Spanish, but you can translate that to English. There is a tool there, easy tool. You just click on it and you will see it in English. Also, I have the app, the application for your phone, Manfred Zepeda, and that is translated to English, Portuguese, and Spanish. So you just have to
Excellent.
click on different language and you will get it. There are many questions there. The question of the day you can use for body, for energies, for your work, for many other things. You can get my calendar there where I'm going to be next. Free videos, mainly in Spanish, but there are some in English, Portuguese, and Japanese, Chinese now. And
Excellent.
yeah.
It's
Um,
exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited about China. I'm going to China in 2 months to facilitate the Talk to the Entities class, first time in China. So all the ancestors and all the
I
entities
was
are
gonna
already like
say
waiting
there
for
might be
me.
a few. I know. They're like, when's he getting here? Wow. I wonder what that will create. That's just really exciting. And for those of you watching, we'll put all the links in the show notes for you. So if you missed exactly what he said, we will put those links in for you. You can find them anytime by going to the replay. Um, Well, Manfred, it has been absolutely amazing having you here. Thank you so much for sharing yourself and what you know and the gift that you be in the world. And yeah, is there anything that you would like to close with? Any final thoughts or invitations before we wrap?
Well, the invitation is to trust what you know and what you perceive in this exercise, even though you say, I didn't perceive anything, like, I don't know. Don't judge yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. We are not used to this in this reality. Keep practicing, and you will access to what you know with total ease. Just by practicing the exercise and acknowledging every single thing you perceive, even if it's just a little thing moving through your body or whatever that is, just acknowledge that and it will grow. Consciousness really grows when we acknowledge it. So I'm
Awesome.
so honored to be here, and thanks so much, Rebecca, for the space, for this space to share these tools and another possibility with entities.
Yeah, and thank you, Manfred. It's a really interesting conversation, and you know, I really, you know, I wonder. I hope that people who weren't really sure if this was a show or an episode for them, you know, I wonder what's opened up now that wasn't possible before. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone who was live today. We loved having you here. Thank you so much, all of you watching at home. Thank you for being a part of this co-creation, a part of this show. As
Yay!
yeah, as always, if there's any other specific guests that you would like to see on the show, any topic you would like to see explored, please do let us know. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like us on the Art of Creation Show Facebook page, and make sure to turn on all the bells and whistles to make sure you know when a new episode goes live and when we go live in the recording on Facebook. So thank you guys so much. And until next week, I wonder what we'll discover next. Bye, everyone.